Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we simulated the season with kind of unknown expectation on where this team would finish. So we managed to finish the season 53-25-4, despite our defensive core and our team in general just falling off a little bit, but we managed to make it to the playoffs, which is all that matters. And obviously now it's all about trying to get ourselves that Stanley Cup win, because the team is aging really quickly, and we do not have a lot of years left to win a Stanley Cup in, so this might be our last chance to win that Stanley Cup. As you can see, Mauricio is up to 38 years of age. We have Kolesnik, who's 37, Lehman, who's 36, so we could lose even up to 3 guys this year to retirement. We also have Ahinen and Boys, who are both 34, so likely retiring soon. Felipe Flood, who we brought back, who's 33. So there's a lot of older guys on this team that are likely going to be calling it quits soon. And obviously once that happens, our team is just going to drop off quite a bit. Also, we have a lot of pending free agents this year, so who knows how much these guys are actually going to want to return to this team next season. So this might be like our best opportunity to win a Stanley Cup. Well, maybe not our best opportunity to win a Stanley Cup, but our last chance to try and get that Stanley Cup, at least with Mauricio on the team, because Mauricio should probably be one of these guys that maybe retires either this season or in the next 2 years, because of the fact he's already 38, but he hasn't lost his X Factor abilities yet, which is kind of surprising, so maybe he could play for a lot longer than we actually realize. But anyways, before we get into the first round matchup with some former players in the Tampa Bay Lightning, let's get into your guys' comments and see what you guys have to say about the last episode. So the first comment is from Michael Dose, who says, "Congrats on making the playoffs. After a while, you need to hope that players retire as they fall too much. Heck, even Gretzky left Edmonton." And guys like Ahinen and stuff like that, yeah, it does make sense, obviously, to let the players go like that eventually. But obviously, like when you're saying with Gretzky even left Edmonton, well, Gretzky wasn't on a draft to glory team. But this type of thing, it's like a lot harder to kind of manage that type of thing, because you want to hold on to these players you drafted as long as possible, because obviously if you end up losing them right after they got, like a few years after they get drafted, or they play in the NHL for like 5 seasons and then are gone to free agency, then your team becomes weak and weak. You want to kind of hold on to as much of players as possible if you can. Like that's why we have guys like Dodge, Coop in the lineup. Richter's still on this team long term. It's just all just trying to get this team to be as balanced as possible, and that way we also have those options to put into our lineup if there is any injury problems. So I do like our roster still on paper. It's not the best roster obviously we've ever had, but at least it could potentially do something, and hopefully in the playoffs it could get it done. The next comment is a long one from Ian.NoLove, who says, "I'm skeptical about having 2 AI generated goalies in the minors. Also surprised with the fact that you have, after having 15 million in cap space, you decided to let go of the HHH, or the Triple H I should say, and sign Felipe Flood for almost $5 million. Crazy. Gladly it worked out well. I still feel uncertain about the defensive core. We're desperately lacking in the 1-2 punch with X Factors because of Burkov. Could have snatched another trophy if he had a better defense in front of him. First AHL line looks promising, though. You can have you considered yourself to being unhappy with the results of the NHL team, which transpired to you not hunting for huge defensemen in the draft? Because I've literally seen that vibes of just that. Anyways, congrats on the season. Mauricio is the legend, no doubt. Number 13 is in the Hall of Fame, no doubt on that either. FPZ kind of find his inner pure passer across the country. Happy for him. Did the minors clinch the playoffs? Any unsigned promising prospects? Where our Triple H combo and 1-2 goalie punch you let go went to? Will you showcase us the appearances of the roster's young blood? Good luck in round 1. Get in there. Love." And thank you for that, Ian. So I'm going to try and break down your comment a little bit here more. So the reason why I decided to bring in Felipe Flood and let go of all 3 of the Triple H players, I will say, the reason why I did that, you guys probably could know, is basically it's to make our team more balanced. Because technically, if you think about it, our offensive core with the Triple H's would be obviously much better, but our offensive core is already good on paper. Now, if we didn't target defense and we didn't bring in somebody like Felipe Flood, Our defensive core would have been probably a little bit weaker. Like Felipe Flood was a 79, I think, at one point, right? So it was more to kind of solidify our defensive core because obviously we want more of a balanced team. We don't want to be just a pure offensive team because that's not going to help us. A pure defensive team won't help us either. So it's good to kind of have that like healthy balance, and that's kind of why I brought in Felipe Flood and let go of those 3 forwards. I know it might be a weird decision for some people, but that's exactly why I did that. Also, and why I haven't been targeting defensemen in the draft is because none of them are going to be able to make it before the series ends, likely, because you do have some top 4s that are probably 3 years out, but I find top 4s are kind of a wild card in this game. Low elites would be better, but some low elites we're not even finding low elite defenders in, so obviously I don't think it's really useful for us to draft defenders unless we know that they're going to be ready right out of the gate, almost, so to speak. And he was mentioning if like the minor league team clinched the playoffs. Did the AHL clinch the playoffs? I don't remember if I took a look at this or not. I don't think I did. They did. Yep, they're playing Laval again. I think they play Laval almost every year, but they lost the first game 5-3. However, Manny Booz looks like he's having a good time, which is nice to see. Any unsigned promising prospects, he asked as well. Let's take a look at this. I don't think so, really, but let's take a look. And not really. Not really. I mean, there is Erat, but he is kind of developing a bit slower than I was hoping for. And there's also Humphreys on defense, but he's not panning out at all, it looks like. So, yeah, not the best prospect pool at the moment, but hopefully some of those guys get growth soon. And he was also asking where obviously all our former players went, which I completely forgot about doing in the last episode, so we'll go ahead and do that right now. Let's try and find Hamalainen, Haken, and Habscheid. Those are the 3 H's. Or no, it's not Hamalainen, it's... what's the other one? It's definitely Haken and Habscheid. I'm trying to remember the other one. There's too much H's on our team. But let's just take a look at Haken first. So he went to the Colorado Avalanche for a 1-year deal, or 2-year deal at 4.705. Looks like he's not getting his ice time in Colorado, and he's just tanked down to a 77 because of that. That's another thing. If we would have held on to the 3 H's, we wouldn't have had good ice time for all the players on our team, so I had to kind of balance that out a little bit. And in Habscheid, let's see where he went. I don't remember the other H's. Oh, Hartman. Yeah, that's it. There's just way too much H's that we've had on our roster. So Habscheid, did I spell that right? Yes, I did. He signed with the New York Rangers on a 3-year deal at $5.3 million. Interesting. So actually a little bit more than the salary cap space we have left, so that's kind of interesting. And then we also have Israel Hartman, who left the team. We'll see where he went to. Hopefully it's not a team we'll ever face in the playoffs. The Dallas Stars. A 2 years deal at 5.67. Damn, he was actually more expensive than I thought, but he's a decent player. So there you go. Maybe those guys will appear in free agency near the end of the series and we can bring them back again. And then he was also mentioning about the 2 goaltenders. So who was the goalies again? Budens. And why can't I remember the... oh, Michelli, that's right. There's been so many goalies and stuff in the series that it's hard to remember all these players' names. So Budens went to the Edmonton Oilers on a 1-year deal at only 2.805. Interesting. So there is Budens. And then we also got to find out about Michelli, who was in the AHL last year for us. So he's going to get an opportunity to play with the Winnipeg Jets. And he's... no, that's not actually. That's the forward. The San Jose Sharks. On a 1-year deal at only 1.09. Damn. In 86 overall, making 1090 is pretty good. Maybe we'll be able to get him back in the free agent pool if we want more goalies, which I don't think we really need, but still. The next 2 comments are from Logan May. The first one says, can we get an update on Wilm's all-time stats league-wide and maybe see some of our franchise stat leaders? Curious if Burkov is finally our best goalie. So I will take a look and update on Wilm's stats league-wide, but I will not take a look at our franchise stat leaders yet because that's usually something I leave till the last episode of the series so we could kind of wrap up our team's history and stuff. So we aren't going to do that. I know it's kind of a bummer, but we are going to take a look at the NHL records and just see where Wilm is in terms of stuff, if he's anywhere, which it does not look like it right now. I'm trying to see if I see him anywhere. Oh, he's still up there in 50 goal seasons. He's at 11 now. He's still 2 behind Austin Matthews. And he's up there now in 100-point seasons with 12, tied with Austin Matthews. So he is up there in 50 goal seasons and 100-point seasons, but like I said, we aren't going to be taking a look at those team records just yet. We're going to wait till the last episode of the series probably to do that. And obviously he won't be anywhere on any of these scenes because these records are kind of tough ones to beat, it seems like. So there is that. And also Logan was like, also looking at Tampa, it's clear that you've made 4 mistakes this run, letting go of Sea-Doo, letting go of FPZ, and not using all your cap space, for not re-signing one of those goalies last offseason for depth. Good luck in the playoffs. And yeah, I'd say losing Sea-Doo definitely was a big blow for the defensive core quite a bit. It has dropped off a lot, and then also losing FPZ, it was kind of a mistake. I would have wanted to hold on to him, but a lot of you guys were saying to not hold on to him, and you could definitely see it is hurting us down the middle quite a bit because we're running Boucher, Ahinen, who's dropping off a lot, probably Richter and Dodge. Like if we would have had still FPZ, this center depth would look a lot better on paper, but obviously it's not that good anymore. And the last and final comment is from Samurai Taku, who says, I'm surprised you finished that well on the defensive side of the puck because you had quite a few games where you were giving up 4 or more goals. It's that inconsistency which could bring your downfall in the playoffs. I wonder if Film is going to follow Ovi's arc where he lights out, then falls off a cliff when he turns 38. And I hope he's not going to be exactly like Ovechkin in that sense, because it would suck if he dropped off a cliff, but hopefully that does not happen. And you were mentioning about the inconsistency not being maybe on our side once we get to the playoffs defensively. Well, it could also be on our side, the thing is, because sometimes when you're an inconsistent team, all of a sudden your team finds that consistency in the playoffs in this game. Other times you don't find that consistency at all. So it's kind of up in the air if we're actually going to be a good team in this playoff run, or are we going to just play terribly. But anyways, those were the comments I got in last episode. So let's get, I guess, into this first round. We do not have home ice advantage as Tampa just edged us out by like a tiny little bit. They were 53-23-6. We were 53-25-4. So let's get into this and waste no more time because we've already taken up like 10 minutes going through those comments. So let's see if we could win a playoff round against Tampa, and hopefully we could keep FPZ off the score sheet, which is probably going to be pretty tough based on his regular season. But here we go, game 1 on Tampa, on Tampa's home ice. Let's take it slow. Let's get our offense going, obviously, but let's play good defensive hockey and show that we're a good defensive team, even though we technically are way worse than we were on paper before. Let's see what happens. Obviously, if we get into some bad situations, we'll make some adjustments, but right now we're going to keep the team the same from the regular season. First period of game number 1. And it's 1-0. I'd say that's a good start. Jan Ozens, continuing where he left off. Obviously, last year he made his playoff debut, and then he played his rookie season this year. He gets his first goal of the playoffs this season to make it 1-0. Shots are 11-9, so that's a pretty textbook first period. Obviously, got to keep up and get more offense going as well for our team, but obviously, good start for our defense and our goaltending. Let's see if we can get some insurance in the second to give us an easier time in the third period. Second period, 1-1. Tampa has tied it on a goal from Moz, which I don't even remember that guy when I looked at their lineup, but shots are 21-21. And it's a 1-1 game going into the third, so very even game up to this point in time. Honestly, no idea who's going to end up winning this. Hopefully, we could get our offense going a little bit more in the third period, because I don't like that we're only scoring 1 goal right now, because we should be able to score a lot more goals with like Mauricio Wilm especially, Alan Lehman, all those older guys on our team. But good start still for our defense and goaltending. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we could grab that lead back, because we have not had the lead in a while now. Let's see if we could get it. Power play for us. We do not score on it. And now we score a power play goal from Raymond. Let's go, Raymond. Making it a 2-1 game. Good start. See if we can get some insurance here. Final 5 minutes of the third period. Still up by a goal because of Raymond, and Goodbranson ties it up. Of course, Goodbranson does. And it's going to be a game that goes to overtime in game 1. Shots are 31-27 in favor of us, but it's a 2-2 game. So their goaltender has been pretty good. Our goaltending has been pretty good. Our defensive play has been pretty good. But obviously, we need to find a way to get more offense, I think, on Tampa. We were up by a goal for most of the game, and then we blew it, and then we were up by a goal for most of the third period, and then they tied it up again. So I'm a bit scared, but hopefully we can find a way to get that OT winner. And it doesn't really matter who on our team, as long as somebody can do it. Let's see what happens in overtime. Come on, boys. Let's get it. Hey, and we do get it, and we win 3-2. Bernard Boucher. So we kind of alternated goals with them the entire time. We were up, then we're tied. We were up, then we're tied, and then we win it in overtime on a goal from the first liner. We outshot them 34-32, and we're going to take a 1-0 series lead as we do win on the road, which is a good way to start off this first round. Good job, boys. That's a good way. Really good way to start it off. Ozens from Ahinen and Del Rivera, Raymond from Wilm and Ahinen, and Boucher from Wilm and Lehman. Let's go. A lot of the older guys on the score sheet in that first game. Wilm and Ahinen both had 2 points. Del Rivera had points. Raymond, Boucher, Ozens, Lehman. Love to see it. Any badly minus guys? There was. Okay, the fourth line of all younger guys were all -2. That's interesting. So they were out there for both goals against, but Burkhoff had a fantastic first game, which is great. Maybe he could get back to where he was playing before. He gets first star of the game, Wilm the second star, and Ahin in the third star. So that's a good start to this first round. Obviously, good defense, good goaltending, and the offense was did what it needed to do, basically. So hopefully it continues. Obviously, like we said, or what Saturn Otaku said, our defense was pretty inconsistent during the regular season, as you can see, like right there, 6-2 loss, 5-1 loss, 5-2 loss. So it's never know. We could play good defensively for the entire playoffs, or maybe we're going to be like a team that's very inconsistent with how we play. So we need to find that consistency. Let's see if we could win another game in Tampa, if we could play another good defensive effort, and also get our offense maybe going a little bit more. But don't sacrifice the defensive play for the offensive play. Pretty much that. So we're still in Tampa. Let's keep it up, guys. Let's see if we could take it 2-0 series lead headed home. First period of game number 2. Oh, no. Yep, we are inconsistent. We can see that right now. Goodbranson scores, but of course, Joel Weber scores 2 goals against us. We have allowed 3 goals on 9 shots. I feel bad for Burkhoff. He might be getting yanked after that first period because he allowed 3 goals on 9 shots. So, yeah, 1 goal every 3 shots, which is not ideal, especially 2 to Joel Weber. But, yeah, that is not good at all. Obviously, last game was pretty solid defensively and goaltending-wise, but this game is not good, and it could be one of those games that get out of hand unless we're able to find a response in the second period. If we could get 1 or 2 goals back, we could get back into this game, but still, that is not a good defensive start, and obviously that's showing exactly what Saturn Otaku was mentioning with our inconsistencies potentially. Let's see if we could get back into this game in the second period at all. Second period, 4-0. Never mind. Hellenius makes it 4-0. We're being outshot 24-19, so yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to win this game, but at least we took 1 game in Tampa. But I might have to make some adjustments for the next game based on this performance. Hey, there's a goal at least. Lehman gets us on the board. Power play for us now. And we do get another one. Boucher makes it 4-2. Okay. And Boys makes it 4-3. Okay, hold on to your hats, guys, a little bit. We're only down by a goal. Can we find a way to tie this game up after being down 4-0? We're down to the final few minutes, please. And it's going to be too little, too late. Our team found the offense that we were looking for, but way too late. We had 3 goals in the span of 3 minutes, but we could not tie it up. We outshot them 39-37, so we had a good third period. But obviously that first period kind of put us in the hole a little bit. And that one last goal that was in the second period ends up being the difference. That kind of sucks. Lehman from Boucher and Wilm, Boucher from Ozens, and Boys from Lehman and Boucher. Any badly minus guys again on this team? Yeah, this time it was the second line. Okay, we're going to have to make some sort of adjustments here. And of course, Joel Weber gets first star of the game against us. That kind of sucks. Because Joel Weber, like, I really liked him as a player, but there was no way to fit him in with all the left wingers coming in to the lineup like Hamalainen and stuff. So he eventually got moved out, which is something I kind of regret a little bit, but hopefully we could find a way to respond to that. At least we took 1 game in Tampa, because if we could take both of our home games, we'll be in a good spot. But we are going to make some adjustments here. So, trying to think of what I want to do, though. Let's go with Wilm down the middle, Boucher on second line, Ahin in his third line. We're basically trying to make our center depth as good as possible here. And then we'll go with Ozens as top liner. We'll go with Del Rivera with Hamalainen and Boucher. And then we will go with these two on a line. Yeah, that looks better. Ooh, that fourth line, though. -3 so far. Do we want to make any adjustments because of that? We could get in Sexsmith, though, but who do I want to take out? We're going to take out Coop. We're going to take out one player at least just from this line just to see if we could get it to change up its complexion a bit. So Sexsmith will come in defensively. Do we have any good depth defensemen? Oh, yeah, Kolesnik's still out injury-wise. Let me see these defensive pairings. Okay, so the top 6 pairings have been okay. It's just the top 4 that needs maybe some rework. So let's just do that Booze and Boys swap. And then goalie-wise, Burkov will obviously still be in net. We could get an opportunity to Zadorov at some point, but not just yet. Not until we are down like in after a really bad game. Like if we have another really bad start to this game, maybe I would make a goaltending change, but I don't really want to overdo it. So there's going to be our adjustments. We head to home ice now, looking to win our home games. If we can win our home games, we'll be in a good spot. If we lose any of these home games, it's going to come down to the last few games to decide things. So here we go, game 3 on home ice. Can we get a response after we allowed 3 goals in the first period last game? First period of game number 3. 1-1. I guess I'll take that. I mean, Mauricio Wilm opens the scoring, and of course, Joel Weber again scores on the power play. Weber had an okay regular season with Tampa this year, but I wasn't expecting him to be the guy that's bringing the offense from Tampa because I was expecting more to be FPZ, not him. But Joel Weber has been definitely Tampa's best player so far in the early going. Shots are 17-12 in favor of us, so their goaltender's on a roll after that first period, but he did allow 1 goal. Let's see if we could get that lead back. Second period. Still 1-1. Shots are 29-21, so both goalies playing strong in this one and not allowing a lot. This might be another one of those games like game 1 that goes to overtime. Both games have been decided by not that much goals, so let's see what happens in this third period, see if we could grab that lead back that we had early on in the game. Come on, Mauricio. Wilsey, of all people for them, scores to make it 2-1. Guite makes it 3-1. And now Burkov is crumbling under the pressure. Do we have a response to that, guys? We have time still. Power play. We do not score on it. Of course. And it looks like we are going to lose a game on home ice, which is not good, as we are going to lose 3-1. And now we are trailing in the series, which I don't really like. It was an okay defensive effort in that game, but the offense wasn't there. We scored a minute 43 in, and then we didn't score again. So I don't like that. It was Willem from Ozens and Booze. Gotta look at these plus minuses again. We might have to call up somebody from the minors at this point. Yeah, Tulipov is very good. He is very good. We gotta make something happen here. Because both games have been decided by 1 goal, and then this game was decided by only 2 goals. So it's been a very close series. But our offense hasn't been consistent enough. Same with our defense, just like what Saturn Talk was mentioning. So let's see what we could do here in terms of calling up players from the AHL. Obviously, we're not going to call up a goalie. We could call up Kavanagh or Turnbull from the AHL. If we want to, and then we could like not use Mangone. I might want to call up Turnbull, to be honest. What type of defender is Kavanagh again? I think he's a defensive defenseman, right? Yeah, DFD. We could always call up the youngster in Kavanagh. From an offensive standpoint, there's guys to call up. Colborne as well. We're going to send Sexsmith down, and we're going to call up Colborne. Colborne's going to get an opportunity to play in this year's playoffs. What else are we going to do here? Booze, we could call up maybe. I don't know about Booze yet. Komatov, no, don't need him. Let's see. Defensively, do I want to call up anybody? You know what? We're going to call up Turnbull as our next defenseman. And let's go back to edit lines here. And we'll rework this a little bit here. So we are going to probably put Jacobson on the left side since he's more offensive. And we'll go with Colburn since he's a two-way forward as the fourth line right winger. We'll also go to power play here quickly. And I will put in somebody else here, I guess, on the power play. Is Cardwell getting power play time? He is not. Let's get Cardwell some power play time. Since he's a two-way defenseman, that way maybe he can get some offense going for our team. And we'll also put him on this second unit too. And then that's all good and ready to go. Okay, from a defensive standpoint though, like I said, we're going to probably put Turnbull in over... over Maddox Boys for a game, maybe, but that makes it so much worse. Maybe I'll move like Felipe Flood up in the lineup a little bit. And then we'll take Mangone out of the lineup for Turnbull. Just to see if we can get something going defensively. Because Burkhoff was good in the first game, but he hasn't been as good since because of the defensive play. And then from an offensive standpoint, I think we'll keep the team like this. Maybe it's because we have a sniper as a fourth line center. Which is not ideal. Yeah, we have a lack of two-way forwards at the moment. And we'll go with something like this and see if that ends up helping us out defensively or not. But Colborne will draw in, and we'll see if he could help us out with the defensive play a bit on that fourth line in keeping the puck out of the net. And then AHL-wise, we will throw this guy on the top line down there because we want the AHL team to still have a good run in the playoffs if they can. And we'll get this guy in on the defensive side of things. I don't think that's actually -2, right? Is it? No, it's not. Okay, good. I hate that glitch for some reason. Okay, so that should be good. Is their AHL team actually still in their first round, or did they get eliminated? No, they actually won their series. Nice. So after they lost that first game, they won 3 straight. So shout out to the AHL team who will be going to the next round. Okay, let's get into this next game. This game is crucial that we win on home ice because if we don't, we need to win 3 straight games to potentially win the series. So yeah, hopefully we could win this game. We won 1 game in Tampa, but we've lost 2 in a row. Can we respond with a good effort, and hopefully the new guys in the lineup could help us out a little bit. First period of game number 4. 1-0 us. Good start defensively. Dodge opens the score, and so the fourth line does get on the board, which is good because they were the line that got most adjustments. Shots are 11-10 in favor of us, but it's a 1-0 game. Obviously, this feels similar to last game, so it would be nice if we could get some insurance and not let them claw back into it potentially. Second period, 4-2 us. Okay, I'll take that, I guess. Good. Branson tied the game up on a power play goal early. We get a power play goal of our own from Boucher to give us the lead. Jacobson scores to make it 3-1. Moz pulls them within 1, and then Boucher scores again. Boucher's been probably one of our best players in the series so far at this point, which is kind of surprising. Shots are 4-2, and or not shots are 4-2. Shots are 24-17 in favor of us. We are up 4-2. Can we lock this game down in the third period and have a tie series headed back to Tampa? Come on, boys. Let's go. Ozens gets an early power play goal to make it 5-2. That's good to see. Our power play has been actually pretty decent also in this first round, so there has been some positives to take away from these games, but obviously some negatives as well. And we definitely are showing that inconsistency. But this is a good offensive game and a very solid defensive game as we do not allow that much shots in the third period, and we win 5-2, out shooting them 37-23. So I'd say that's a pretty dominant victory and definitely the best version of our team we've seen yet in this first round. So good job on the team. What was the shots in the third period? 13-6. Yeah, we dominated them since the second period, I guess. It's good to see. Faceoffs were in their favor, which is kind of surprising though. So dodge from Colborne and Jacobson. So Colborne getting his first ever point early into his first ever game, which is awesome to see, or actually late into his first ever period, I should say. Boucher from Jacobson and Hamalainen. Jacobson from Dodge and Cardwell. Boucher from Hamalainen and Ozens from Hamalainen. So Jacobson picked up a couple points as well, which is huge. So the fourth line getting reworked a little bit, and all of them contributed, which is nice. So Jacobson with 3 points. Hamalainen had 3 points. Boucher had 2 goals. And they had Dodge on 2 points. Ozens, Cardwell, and Colborne all on 1 point. Nice. Only a couple minus guys, and they're all -1. And then goaltending was good again from Burkhoff, so maybe those adjustments actually did help. Jacobson gets first star of the game, Boucher the second star, and Hamalainen the third star. So we are tied at 2. It's been a back and forth series up to this point. We are up 1-0, then we are down 2-1. Now we are tied at 2, and now it becomes a best of 3 as we shift back to Tampa Bay for a game. Hopefully home ice isn't a deciding factor in this series at all. But I think we're going to keep the team the exact same. That was a good effort. I don't think there's any use to make any adjustments after a game like that. I do want to take a look at the plus minus on some of the guys that just got thrown into the lineup here. So like Colborne, he was +2. Actually, no, it's in the AHL. Never mind. Let me see. Yeah, he was actually a +2. Never mind. That's good to see. Solid debut for the youngster. And then from a defensive standpoint, how did Turnbull do in the lineup? Turnbull was +1 and had 5 penalty minutes, so he actually came into the lineup and immediately fought somebody apparently, which is kind of funny. So I guess we got ourselves our face puncher that we needed. So there is that. Let's get into the next game. Waste no time considering the fact we just won a game pretty dominantly. If we can win this game, like I said though, we'll be 1 win away from the second round. If we lose this game, obviously we need to win 2 straight, which is going to be pretty tough. So here we go. We got to have a good game in Tampa. We did win 1 game in Tampa before and it was in overtime. Can we do it again? Game 5 in Tampa Bay. Let's see what happens. First period. 1-0 Tampa. Get Branson again. So that was an early goal though only. So good little response from Barkov after allowing a goal 18 seconds in. Shots are 11-7 in favor of them as well. So our offense might have dried up a little bit after last game, scoring 5 goals. Definitely need to find a way to score some goals in the second period to give us a better chance in this game. And obviously we need to keep them off the score sheet as well if we can. Second period. 2-1 Tampa, so Wilm tied the game up early into the second period, and then Kavasha gave them back the lead. So we're still in this game, which is good. We're only down by 1. We're only being outshot by 3 shots. If we could find a way to tie this game up going into the third, that would be great. So let's see what happens. Can we get it done? Can we tie this game up in this third period? Come on, guys. Penalty kill to start the third period. Don't take penalties, please. Thank you. And Dodge ties the game up. Let's go, Dodge. The dodgeball or whatever his nickname is going to be, I don't even know. 2-2 game here in the third period. Are we going back to overtime again? We've been to overtime multiple times, I think, so far. 1 time at least. And we are going to be doing that again. So game 1, we went to overtime with them. We won 3-2 in Tampa. We have a chance to do the exact same type of thing in this game, with the shots being in their favor pretty heavily, 33-26. So we are getting outplayed, but the goaltending has been good for us so far. We just need to find a way to get that game-winning goal, and we will be 1 win away from the next round. Obviously, if we allow that next goal, though, then we are 1 game away potentially from being eliminated. So we need somebody to step up here. I don't know who wants to step up. It could be even Ahinen, Mauricio, Lehman. This might be one of the last games of a lot of these guys' career, so hopefully they come out firing. Let's see what happens in overtime. Come on, boys. You got this. And we do score immediately in overtime. And it is Ahinen, of all people, only 13 seconds into overtime. I'm really surprised that I called on him and he actually was the one to deliver, because Ahinen's not really a goal scorer. He's more of a pure passer, but a huge win there in Tampa as we take another one in overtime, getting outshot 33-27. So a nice victory there from Burkov and also the defensive core, I guess, too. Let's go. We are 1 win away. So Wilm from Lehman and Flood, Dodge from Jacobson, and Ahinen from Raymond. Okay, well, we're 1 away and away. It's been back and forth this year so far, as Burkov gets first star, Ahinen the second star, and Gebranson the third star. But it's been very back and forth so far. We won game 1, then we lost 2 in a row. Then now they have lost 2 in a row, and now we're up 3-2. So is this the type of series that goes 7 games? Or are we going to be able to knock them out in game 6 in our home building? We got to try and take advantage of this as soon as possible. Obviously, winning on home ice would be nice, but if we have to win in game 7, so be it. But we definitely need to continue. This has been a very close series, though, because this was a 1-goal game, this was a 1-goal game, this was a 2-goal game, this was a 3-goal game, and this was a 1-goal game. So at this point, you could also say that we could be technically down in the series, or we could have already lost the series if we didn't have the clutchness in overtime. But I think we're going to keep the team the exact same. We've won 2 straight games. Can we win a 3rd straight and get ourselves to that 2nd round and knock out Joel Weber and FPZ and head ourselves to the 2nd round again? Hopefully we could do so. Come on, boys. Let's do this. First period of Game 6. 3-1 us. Hey, that's a good start. That's a good start, but I am still a little bit skeptical. Jacobson scores for us on the power play. Weber then scores for them, of course. Then we get a short-handed goal from Lehman. And then Ricardo Richter scores to give us a 2-goal lead. We have 3 goals on 7 shots. So far, Tulipov hasn't been good for them. And so far, we've been getting good goaltending from Burkov these last 2 games. Let's hope that we have a good 2nd period and keep it like the same type of scoreline. Because if they claw back into this game, they could still win it for sure. 2nd period. 4-2. Okay, that's kind of similar. Boucher made it 4-1. Gudbranson makes it 4-2. And there's only 20 minutes separating us in this 2nd round, potentially. Shots are 22-19, also in favor of us. Let's just get maybe one more goal just to feel a little bit safer. But we are potentially 1 period away from the next round. Can we do it? Let's see if we could hold them off. Come on, boys. Power play for us. We do not score on it. That's kind of surprising based on how good the power play has been up to this point. Final 10 minutes, still up by a pair of goals. At least we're locking them down defensively. Final few minutes. Oh no, they get a late goal from Dempsey. Can we hold them off? Yes, we can. We hold them off 4-3, and we have knocked out the Tampa Bay Lightning, who were a higher seeded team than us in the 1st round. And we're going back to the 2nd round. Another 1-goal victory. So we might not have completely outplayed them, but we managed to win out those close games, which is nice. Final shots are 33-27, and yeah, we are headed to the 2nd round. Let's go. That's huge. That is huge, especially with the pending retirements, pending free agents that we have on our team. Like, who knows what our roster is going to look like next season at this point. So Jacobson from Ahinen and Lehman from Del Rivera and Cardwell, Richter from Ahinen and Turnbull, Boucher from Hamalainen, and Del Rivera ends up being the game-winning goal. Let's go. Okay, let's take a look at those 3 stars. Lehman, Boucher, and Ahinen. Pretty solid 1st round, I would say. Obviously not the best 1st round, but like I said, we were able to win these games when they were very close. Because there was a total of 4 of those 6 games that were only decided by 1 goal. So, could have went either way, but we managed to knock them out. And obviously, it's going to be interesting to see who we end up playing in the next round. And hopefully, we can build upon that. Maybe that gives our team a little bit more confidence going into the next round. Let's see these player stats. So, starting off with our centers. Boucher with 7 points in 6 games, 5 goals, which is awesome. Wasn't expecting him to bring in 5 goals as a playmaker, but he's been a very solid player on this team. Wellman 5 points was pretty good. Ahinen as well on 5 points, only -1. So that might be one of the best 1st rounds I've seen from Ahinen. Dodge on 3 points, Richter on 1 goal, Coop on no points and a -3 in 2 games. So some of the plus minuses are a bit of an issue, but that's okay. Lehman on 6 points is good. Ozzen's on 4 points. Hamalainen on 4 points. That's pretty solid. Jacobson on 5 points is a huge one, considering he's like a 4th line guy. Del Rivera on 3 points, no goals. So we need a little bit more out of Reese Del Rivera. Normally he's a great playoff player, so hopefully he starts going in the next round. Raymond on 2 points and Colburn on 1 assist in 3 games, but a +3. So bringing him in definitely helped us out defensively on that 4th line, I think. And from a defensive standpoint, Cardwell had 2 points. Boys had 1 goal, but was -3. And then Turnbull was much better defensively coming in. Him, Flood, Booze, all pretty good defensively. Mangone, solid defensively too, and Karaknal as well. So pretty much Boys was the worst defender on our team in terms of like plus-minus stuff. And then Mateo Burkov, 4-2 with a 9.12 and a 2.82 is pretty damn solid. So good goaltending in that 1st round. I actually do want to take a look at Tampa's stats also after that 1st round, because I feel like FBZ didn't do much for them. And he had 4 assists in 6 games. It's not terrible. But yeah, Joel Weber was definitely the best player on Tampa against us, which is kind of funny. So just in case you guys wanted to take a look at that. But there is that. The question is now, who are we playing in round 2? And is it a team that we could somehow upset as well? Considering we technically upset Tampa. It is going to be the Florida Panthers. Oh no. We know Florida's on the uprise. We've played them a lot of times over these last few years. Last year, I think, was the year they went to the Cup Finals, right? Was it last year or was it 2 years ago? I gotta look back at now my videos here for a second. Oh yeah, it was last year that they knocked us out in the conference finals, and they went to the cup finals only to lose. Yeah, we know Florida's a very good team, so it's gonna be a tough task for sure. Winner though will play either Ottawa or Carolina, and you have Dallas and Arizona. Dallas is a great team, and you have Seattle and Anaheim. So there's a lot of good teams in this playoff mix still, which is not great. Let's take a look at how Florida did during the regular season compared to us, and also how they're doing playoff-wise, and then we'll take a look at their roster. So in terms of the regular season, they won our division with 116 points, which was 6 more points than us. Obviously, we did just take out a team that finished 2 points above us, so we could still take out Florida. You never know. Our offense technically was better than theirs, which is kind of a surprise. Their defense was much better than ours, though. Power play-wise, our power play was much better, and their penalty kill was actually worse. So technically, they're a better defensive team, but we're better special teams-wise and offensively. We also had way more shorthanded goals than they did. What about playoff-wise so far? They probably swept the first round, right? Knowing how good that team is, because I just know from like the past few years when we played them. Yep, they swept the first round. They swept the first round, scoring 4.75 goals per game, allowing 3 goals a game. Their power play was 18.2%, and their penalty kill was 75%. Yeah, they're probably a pretty good team still. Like, they definitely have like Cesar Gamache we know about, because I think he just had a crazy good season. And then they also have Whitmore, who was up there for like the Norris. So they're definitely going to have a lot of good players on this team. Probably pretty similar to last year. Yes. So Damon Peterson, Lucas Hillman's now the top line center. Michael Porter has dropped off a lot. And then there is Cesar Gamache coming off how much goals again? 72 goals. And he already has 5 goals in this playoff run so far. They also do have Ray Courtnall, Jackson Combs, Earl Lindsey. Third line Vesasalo, and there's Michael Porter, so he dropped off a lot. And Yuri Sergeyev, of course, our former right winger. How's he doing? 63 points this year, so a better second year in Florida than his first year. Only 1 assist in 4 games in the playoffs so far, but I guess when you have Gamache, you don't really need to do much. And a fourth line of Garin, Costi, and Reinhardt. That fourth line is kind of weird. It's not a bad fourth line with the 279s, but the 75 is not ideal, but it's still not bad, I guess. But the right wing depth is really good, especially up to these 3 lines right here. From a defensive standpoint, still Whitmore and Commodore. This pairing's been together for quite a while at this point. They are very good. Whitmore had 75 points in the regular season. He's got 3 points so far in the playoffs. Commodore is more of a DFD, right? Yeah, thought so. They also have Angelo Lindsay, Andy Domingue, Trevor Rome, and Tuomo Latikainen. So that defensive core definitely needs a little bit of work, except for the top 2, obviously. And then from a goaltending standpoint, they still have Gabriel Dag, who knocked us out last year. He didn't have the best first round, but he did get the sweep. And then they also have Skylar McKenzie. Don't think I've ever seen this guy in franchise mode, but okay. Depth-wise, they have David Shantz and Ned Maltby. So yeah, basically our main thing that we need to do is contain their top guys. We need to contain Pedersen, Hillman, Gamache, Courtnall, Lindsay, and Sergeyev. From a defensive standpoint, obviously Whitmore and Commodore can't be on the board too much either. And pretty much if we could contain that, we might be having a chance to beat them, but it's going to be tough considering last year they got all the way to the Cup Finals. And obviously we know that they took us out last year too, so we can't take that for granted. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Halifax Raiders Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to the second round against the 57-23-2 Florida Panthers as we look to get ourselves to the conference finals and get revenge on Florida for last year. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.